I have so many questions for you because I'm thinking about how important it is to create brand, and at the same time, when people are just getting started in business, how they can hyper focus on it and it turns into a limiting aspect of building their business. Can you talk a little bit about, kind of the early stages of business building? Where does brand fit? Why is it important? What can people do?
Well, I think that's a really good point. And I think my attitude has changed up around that a little bit as I've grown in my own business and I've worked with people at different levels. And I think, depending on your stage of business, there's a time and a place for the level of branding that you invest in and you get involved in. And I think, consistency is really important. And you choose a look and feel, colors, fonts, all of that, and you grow tired of it in 6 months or a year, that's natural, right? We're all going to kind of evolve and grow. However, it's when you have that multiple brand personality disorder and every day you're like a different kind of photo and a different filter and a different font and a different template, then it's like, well, your confusion is just like, whoa, like you're just wearing your confusion on your sleeve. So I think it's more about pick something that makes sense for you. If you're super early in your business and you're doing it on your own, then, figure it out, make it work. And just know that this is, a getting started space and you're going to grow and evolve, and you're going to get so much clarity around who you are and who you serve and how you're different as you kind of fail forward, to be honest. And then at that point, when it's not necessarily a timeline, but I think it's when you're all in, right? You're committed. This is what you're doing. And you've kind of like hit your wall of success and you're just like, I'm not really being taken seriously. My credibility is being jeopardized because I don't look professional. And at that point, it's like, all right, go, people pay you for what you do. Go pay someone to do what they do and they're really good at, and, get that up leveling and that professionalism and that consistency so that your expertise is really being presented in, a positive light and people take you seriously.
I love this conversation because I think about, I love marketing and branding. And it's something that I had no idea I was going to be so into when I started my business. And I'm just like, oh, this is so fun. And it's also been something that's constantly evolving, or because I didn't know what I was doing. And I like that you highlighted, you basically, what you said that stands out to me is you're going to fail forward with your brand identity until it's kind of like you have to practice and fall down and even understand who you are and start to get defined before you can just jump out there and be like, this is what I want, at least if you're new in business.
Yeah. Well, and I think you can go out there and be, this is who I am, and you evolve. Like I know when I first started, I was kind of figuring out who I was in the marketplace, and, I was working in advertising at the time. I was designing TV and movie posters, and I lived in LA, and I had a very distinct identity that I had for my whole life. And then when we moved across the country to Asheville. And for me, I just went through this whole identity upheaval and shift of, I'm not like, how do I define myself now? I'm not like the LA girl that designed movie posters, right? Like now I live in the South, and, I have a different way of being in my business and as a mother and all of that. So for me, I knew that I'd outgrown my brand, but I needed to like do a lot of internal journeying really to come out the other side. And finally, when I started to get my footing, I had grown so much as a person, and I saw myself differently, and I really stepped up with who I was, and promoted myself to creative director because I was like, that's what I'm doing. The men in the agency are not going to call a spade, so I'm going to just do it. So, so I think understanding that, especially if your brand is kind of tied to who you are or some element of your identity around it, as you evolve, your brand is going to evolve, and that's just a natural process. And so kind of owning where you are in the moment and knowing that it's a living, breathing thing that's going to evolve is probably going to be beneficial to just, be where you are at the moment.
To listen to the full episode, head on over to nfacoaching.com, hit the podcast link, and it'll take you to all of the full episodes. And go ahead and leave some comments. I'd love to hear from you to know how these inspirational interviews, tips, and tools are impacting you in your life and business. And be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on any of the Max Potential Habits episodes.